going to do now that the supply isn't meeting demand? So you got to start thinking about this. What do they do in third world countries? Because that's what we're going to have to start looking at, is examples of how we can make the most of what we've got. So everybody in America, I'm using a broad brush here, but we got a bunch of crap that we don't need. So you might have, an old junk car behind the house, or you might have an old scooter laying around, or old bicycles, or whatever. Guess what? Those things are more valuable right now. You need to figure out what's wrong with them and fix them, and either use them or get rid of them, make some profit on them. But you need to start fixing your stuff instead of just throwing it away. I think the time for throwing away stuff that is broken might be over. You've got a microwave that's not working. You might want to try to figure that damn thing out, figure out why it's not working, and fix it rather than going out and buying another one. Same thing with cars. Instead of trading the daggum thing in because something's wrong with it, figure out what's wrong with it and fix it. YouTube is a wealth of knowledge. You can find out how to do anything on YouTube. Seems like everybody's made a video for everything. I've fixed my washing machines and dryers multiple times, using YouTube videos. Dishwashers I've fixed using YouTube videos. How to. Most of the time you can find the exact model you're working on. It's crazy, man. But there's definitely people out there making how-to videos. And they do a decent enough job. They're not all the best, but they give you at least enough information to make you dangerous. And what do you got to lose? The damn thing's already broke. So if it's already broke, you might as well try to fix it. Learn something. Even if you screw up, you're going to learn something that'll help you later. You'll learn what not to do. And I think that's where we're headed to. I think we're going to end up being like, I don't know, maybe Cuba. Hopefully not to that degree, but Cuba has had to figure out how to make stuff work. Those guys are really impressive. If you can take a 57 Chevy and turn that thing into a boat and sail to Florida, you're pretty badass. You've figured it out, and that's what they've done down there, man. They keep all their old vehicles running. They've been around since the 50s. Nothing's changed as far as the cars and that down there. They're the same crap that they've had forever, and they've just keep recycling them, figuring out what they got to do to make it work, how to make parts themselves or fix parts. All appliances, cars, trucks, motorcycles, bicycles, everything's just parts, man. Figure out what part is broken, figure out how to replace that part or repair that part, and put it back together and go on. It might not be as good as a shiny, brand new, vehicle or whatever it is, or appliance. But hey, you'll have that knowledge forever. You'll have the knowledge forever. You'll have that pride that you fixed it. Tell you what, when I fix a washing machine for my wife, it makes me pretty manly. Makes me feel pretty manly. Makes her, look at me a little differently. Or at least I think she does. She knows how to stroke my ego. But, a wise man once said, if you can't be handsome, be handy. Red Green was not wrong. think that is going to become more and more true as these supply chain disruptions and everything go on. You know, those guys that you laughed at for building crap with pallets, guess what? Pallets are starting to become scarce because people are snapping them up because that wood's worth something now. You know, you could become a pallet millionaire, man. It's insane. So, you know, I think people need to start repurposing things, recycling things, figure out how things work, figure out what you got to do to make it work, what you can do to make things work without the new parts. I remember when I was younger, I was a young husband. I didn't have enough money to replace our microwave, and the power buttons and that had just stopped working, the little control pad. So I didn't have nothing to lose. So I ripped that thing apart to figure out how it worked. So I got a general idea of how it worked. I put in a toggle switch to control the power for the microwaver. So I'd flip it on, have a timer, just a regular little dial timer that would go for however many minutes I needed or whatever. When it go ding, I would turn it off. Worked good. I got another year out of that microwave until I could afford another one. You know, people are going to have to start doing that, I think. You know, I could be wrong, but if I'm wrong, at least you'll know how stuff works. You'll always have that knowledge. I think that's something that our country's lost. You know, people don't know how things work anymore. They just take everything for granted. So stop taking things for granted. Figure out how things work. If it's broken already, you got nothing to lose. See if you can fix it. I fixed a stupid little wading pool for our ducks with some duct tape this week. Wife was talking about getting another pool. I'm like, well, the dog's just going to get in it and poke holes in it again anyway. So, used some of my Gorilla Glue duct tape and cleaned out the bottom of the swimming pool and taped up all the little punctures. Hey, wouldn't you know it? My ducks are happy again. Holds water for more than a day. You know, if it holds water just long enough until it rains again, I'm happy. You know, my two ducks, two adult ducks, really don't complain much, so I think I'm all right. But I think that's definitely something we've really got to work on as a nation is recycling and repurposing things. You know, we've become so spoiled, we just take everything for granted. What's going on, you know, around the world, you know, all these other little countries, you know, they've had to deal with stuff like this forever. They've always had to figure out how things work. You know, it sticks out in my mind when I was a kid. We had a Vietnam vet that came in and gave a presentation in class, and he had sandals that he had gotten when he was in Vietnam. And this is back, you know, during the war and that. They were making sandals out of tires. So they were taking old car and truck tires and they were making sandals out of them. And they were good. Man, that's using your noggin. You know, if you use your brain a little bit, you know, if you figure out you need something, there's a way to make it. Everything's just parts, man. Everything's made out of material. It starts at a small thing and it works up to a big thing, but it's all steps, and everything's like that. So everything that you've ever purchased, if it's been man-made, it's all just little parts. So you got to figure out what parts you need, and if you can reconstruct those parts or take something off of, you know, something else that's very similar, and then make it work. And I think you're going to start to see more and more of that if the supply chain stays like it is. So anyway, that's my thoughts for this morning. Start doing your own maintenance if you can. Change your own oil. You know, you change your own oil, you can take the oil to just about any, auto parts store. They'll take your old oil. You know, take it there. Don't dump it in the backyard or on your neighbor's backyard or wherever. You know, catch it, put it back in the bottles or whatever, and take those bottles in and drop it off at your local auto parts store. But really need to start doing our own things, learning how things work again. I think it's going to be very important. Anyway, tell me what you think. If you think I'm out of my mind and that we'll always have stuff, that this is just a small phase we're going through, why bother? Let me know down in the comments. If you think I'm on to something, hit the like button. Think I'm an idiot? Hit the dislike button. I'm cool with that. Anyway, found any of this useful, hit the subscribe button. Even if you didn't find it useful, if I just annoy the heck out of you, hit the subscribe button. Or better yet, tell somebody that you don't like that my channel rocks. If you think I suck, tell somebody you don't like that my channel rocks and have them watch my video. That could be torture. Anyway, I'll see you YouTubers later.